Time. Debt is a contract with time, not with a lender, not with an institution, but with time itself. Every debt agreement takes a portion of the future and fixes it in place. What was once open becomes scheduled. What was flexible becomes dated. Most financial instruments exist to manage uncertainty. Insurance prepares for what might happen. Equity participates in what could grow. Debt is different. Debt deals in certainty. It says, this will happen. On this date, in this amount, there is no negotiation left. The clock has started. When debt enters a system, the relationship with time changes. The present becomes heavier because it carries future obligations. The future becomes narrower because parts of it have already been decided. Time stops being linear. It folds. Pull. Debt pulls. It reaches forward into next month, next year, next decade, and draws those commitments back into today. A mortgage signed this morning alters decisions that will be made 20 years from now. The pull is constant, invisible, irreversible. This force operates below conscious awareness. A business with debt thinks differently about expansion. A government servicing bonds thinks differently about spending. A person carrying student loans thinks differently about risk. The pull does not announce itself. It simply reshapes every choice. Debt's pulling force is mathematical, but its consequences are behavioral. Future income becomes present obligation. Future flexibility becomes present rigidity. The pull is stronger than gravity because it acts on decisions, not objects. Obligation. Obligation is the core technology of debt, not interest rates, not terms, not covenants. Obligation. The state of owing changes behavior more reliably than any incentive ever could. An obligation cannot be ignored. It can be met. It can be delayed. It can be restructured or broken, but it always arrives. This persistence is where debt derives its power. Opportunities can be declined. Possibilities can be postponed. Obligations appear on schedule. The psychology of obligation runs deeper than economics. Humans are wired to carry the weight of what they owe. That weight changes posture, changes tone, changes how a person moves through the world. Debt does not need to threaten. The obligation enforces itself. Constraint. Before debt, many paths exist. After debt, fewer remain. This is not a moral judgment. It is geometry. Debt introduces constraints into a system, and constraints reduce the available solution space. A company without debt can pursue opportunity. A company with debt must first service its obligations. The difference appears small. Over time, it compounds. Each payment is a path not taken, an experiment not run, a risk not assumed. Constraints generate their own logic. Under debt, decisions stop asking what is best and begin asking what is necessary. Sometimes constraints create focus. They can sharpen execution, but they always reduce optionality. Urgency. Debt creates urgency by design. Bills arrive monthly. Interest accrues daily. The natural rhythm of decision-making is replaced by the rhythm of payment schedules. Urgency changes how problems are solved. Long-term solutions become luxuries. Short-term fixes become necessities. The urgent displaces the important, not through crisis, but through structure. Debt makes everything urgent and nothing patient. This urgency spreads outward. Employees feel it through cost cutting. Customers feel it through reduced service. Suppliers feel it through delayed payments. Urgency becomes atmospheric. It fills the space between transactions. Decision. Under debt, every decision carries added weight. Buy or rent. Expand or maintain. Hire or wait. Each choice must account for the obligation, running beneath all other calculations. The decision process itself changes. Time horizons shorten. Risk tolerance declines. Acceptable outcomes narrow. Decisions that would be simple without debt become complex. Decisions that would be complex become impossible. Debt does not decide for you. It changes the boundaries within which decisions occur. The same person facing the same choice will decide differently depending on their debt position. Debt offers no advice. It compresses the possibility space until only certain outcomes remain viable. Optionality. Options have value. Debt consumes them. This is the trade. Present resources exchanged for future flexibility. Sometimes the exchange is worthwhile. Sometimes it is unavoidable, but the cost is never abstract. Without debt, waiting is free. With debt, waiting accrues interest. Every day of indecision has a price. Every pause carries cost. The option to wait, to reconsider, to observe, becomes an expensive luxury. Loss of optionality compounds. First, debt removes the option not to pay. Then, the option to take risk. Then, the option to refuse. Eventually, only one option remains: to service the debt. The process is mathematical. The experience is human. Risk. Debt reshapes risk. What was variable becomes fixed. What was flexible becomes rigid. Risk does not disappear. It concentrates. A business without debt can absorb a bad year. Revenue declines. Expenses adjust. Survival remains possible. The same business with debt faces a different equation. Revenue can fall. Debt payments cannot. The cushion vanishes. The margin for error evaporates. Risk under debt becomes asymmetric. Upside remains limited. Downside extends to total loss. This asymmetry alters behavior long before it alters outcomes. Caution appears early. Adaptation comes late. Institutions use debt as a coordination tool. Governments issue debt to pull future tax revenue into present action. Corporations issue debt to pull future earnings into current growth. Banks create debt to pull future economic activity into circulation today. Each use alters the time structure of the system it enters. Institutional debt establishes rhythm. Bond markets set the beat. Interest rates set the tempo. Payment schedules define the meter. Entire economies begin to move in sync with debt cycles. This synchronization can stabilize systems. It can also amplify fragility. The outcome depends not on intent, but on structure. For individuals, debt is intimate. It occupies mental space. It alters sleep. It changes relationships. The mathematics may resemble institutional debt, but the experience is entirely different. Personal debt reduces cognitive bandwidth. Mental energy is consumed managing obligation. This is not weakness. It is load. A mind carrying debt processes time differently. The future stops feeling distant. Planning horizons contract. Patience diminishes. The long view becomes a luxury that debt makes difficult to afford. The long view. From sufficient distance, debt reveals itself as a technology for manipulating time. It does not create value. It does not destroy value. It shifts when value arrives. At close range, debt feels chaotic. Over decades, patterns emerge. Individual struggles aggregate into systemic behavior. Private pressure becomes public rhythm. Debt is essential for transforming future potential into present capacity, but it is never neutral. It reshapes incentives, behavior, and structure in ways that can persist for generations. The question is not whether debt should exist, but how it should be structured, so the future it pulls forward does not overwhelm the present it was meant to improve. Closing. Debt pulls future decisions into the present. This pull, constant and unseen, reshapes behavior long before outcomes appear. Under debt, time folds. Options narrow. The optimal gives way to the necessary. This transformation is not moral. It is structural. Debt creates obligations that persist, constraints that compound, and urgency that spreads. It alters how institutions coordinate and how individuals think. The future arrives early, but with reduced flexibility when it does. From the long view, debt is what it has always been. A tool for managing time. Powerful, useful, dangerous, never neutral, always consequential. This is part of a longer sequence.